welcome to Game Time. In this video, I'll take you through the games which I think will be worth your time from Gamescom this year. In this trailer, we saw footage of post-World War II America and Vietnam. It talks about how plans for the atomic bomb have been stolen from Los Alamos Air Base by a Russian named Perseus, who then, during Vietnam, orchestrated a group of Viet Cong soldiers to attempt to steal a nuclear bomb from the Americans. Now, Perseus is at play again. This intro serves to lay the seeds of doubt for the storyline. We as the audience pull out from a TV to CIA operative Russell Adler in a dimly lit room with returning characters Jason Hudson, Alex Mason and Frank Woods. They are shown discussing their strategy to stop the imminent threat, that is, Soviet agent Perseus. Until the then President Ronald Reagan enters, the team were discussing whether or not this Perseus character was any threat, and the government officials seem to think that he's just a myth until Reagan validates what Adler has been saying. This is where I would assume the story for Call of Duty Cold War will begin as you track down the Russian operative. Considering how well received the previous storylines of Treyarch-developed Black Ops series was, I hope this next iteration will be as good. This might be a glaringly obvious observation, but there wasn't much boots-on-the-ground combat, if any, during the Cold War, and portraying that in a game such as Call of Duty, I would imagine might be very difficult. The Cold War is generally considered to have spanned between 1947 and 1991, and it was accepted that had anyone launched a nuke, the other would retaliate, and the term mutually assured destruction was coined. I'll be looking forward to the release of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is planned for the 13th of November this year. We also got a look into the development of the next Dragon Age game. We saw a whole host of the development team discussing their contributions and aims for the next Dragon Age. They describe this iteration as a stark contrast to the playing experience of Dragon Age Inquisitions, as you start from scratch and are not the most powerful in the land. Each of them described what it's like to work at BioWare as a great place with ever-changing stories to tell, places to experience, and characters to get to know. This Dragon Age game will take place in an entirely original world filled with original flora and wildlife. It will be really great to start exploring a new environment within the Dragon Age world, as the game's mechanics have changed very slightly over the years. As they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I, for one, am thrilled to see even the slightest of news and imagery coming out of BioWare. Talking of imagery, this sneak peek didn't disappoint, as we got a whole host of concept art depicting the new environments which we will soon be exploring. The most defining feature of which is the grandiosity of it, the sprawling cities, magical landscapes, gloomy caverns, the massive monsters and the bustling city streets. The characters have been designed to be polarizing as they want you to build strong connections to the cast. BioWare has used motion capture technology to make the animations of these characters as realistic as possible. We are yet to know when it was due to release, but by the sounds of it, Dragon Age 4 has been in development for 6 years at this point, and that can only be a good thing for such an ambitious title. I can't wait to get my hands on more info, and you can bet I'll be ready to tell you all of the details as and when we hear of any. Day 1 at Gamescom had a whole host of Star Wars themed games and game updates. We saw Squadrons, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and Sims 4 Journey to Batuu. I'll start with Journey to Batuu because I'm least excited about this. Having released on the 8th of September, it has been in the hands of some reviewers and Sims 4 influencers. Their take on it is that it is a shallow veneer of Star Wars merchandise and themes. There is no new traits, very few new hairstyles, the alien character options are just masks, a majority of the world is not interactable although it looks good. It's a facade for selling Star Wars content and is filled with repetitive and dull questlines with a few enjoyable moments. It seems to be targeted at the niche group of Sims fans who also love Star Wars, and for that I probably won't be picking it up. The other two offerings from the Star Wars franchise have an equal footing in my mind in different ways. LEGO Star Wars in general has been an exceptional series of tongue-in-cheek, light-hearted fun with friends, and for that I'm excited to have a game which has so much content in it. We don't have a firm release date, with early 2021 being all the info we have at the moment. Currently, we know it will take place across all 9 movies, and each episode will have 5 story missions for a total of 45 missions throughout. There will be a deluxe edition, which will feature 6 packs of additional content from outside the Skywalker saga. They will be Mandalorian Pack 1 and 2, Rogue One Star Wars Story, Classic Characters, Solo: The Star Wars Story, and Star Wars Bad Batch. The other is Star Wars Squadrons, which is due to release on the 2nd of October. The game's story is set after the events of Return of the Jedi, as you take control of ships from the Galactic Empire and the New Republic. In total, there are 8 playable ships to pilot, 4 on either side. Each side's ships have defining features which set them apart from the rest. For example, the Empire's ships offer no shields but have advantages in other areas like maneuverability. There will be 3 different modes to play. Story mode, which you play on both sides of the conflict. Dogfight, which will be a 5v5 dogfight, which will basically be team deathmatch in a multiplayer format, and Fleet Battle, which is similar to Dogfight but with the addition of an objective to complete. Squadrons will be playable throughout in virtual reality, and this could be a real selling point for it, as many people who have jumped into the fledgling VR market are left with subpar offerings to use their new kit. Hopefully we will get an in-depth story of new and exciting missions. Coming out soon, I'll let you know how it goes. Another great entry into the VR world featured at Gamescom is Medal of Honor Above and Below, which takes the franchise back to its roots as you play in a story during World War II as an OSS agent in the French Resistance. Rather alarmingly, it seems to only be releasing on Oculus VR headsets, missing out on the PlayStation VR market. It's due to release in the holiday season this year. The trailer shows you on a boat in a landing party, skydiving from a plane, navigating trench warfare, and infiltrating an enemy base. A solid story could make this one of the best VR games out there, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Although, I'd have to get an Oculus first. I've been waiting for a big step up in VR game quality, and this could be just that. It's not far away, so we'll just have to wait and see. An exciting prospect in the Battle Royale game genre is Spellbreak, a new fantasy Battle Royale game seemingly filled with different archetypes of magic to take control of. With bold colour and a simple but charming aesthetic, this could be the next big Battle Royale thanks to its fresh take on the genre. The combat will be limited to close quarters as you sling fire bolts and thrust boulders at each other. This game really excites me as a traditional Battle Royale formula of gunfights over vast distances can become frustrating and tedious. Getting up close and personal with magical duels really tickles the fantasy lover in me. Spellbreak is out now and its frantic, intense gameplay is totally addictive. I'm highlighting Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart because it is a great example of next-gen hardware capabilities. The SSD in the PS5 makes teleporting from multiple game worlds an ease, and that is core to Rift Apart gameplay. Insomniac Games also spoke about how the haptic feedback of the DualSense controller was core to the development. Ratchet & Clank as a franchise is a great third-person shooter platforming game with a light-hearted feel. The gameplay demo lays out the mechanics of Rift Apart and is followed by a high-paced, colourful blasting gameplay which we have become accustomed to with the Ratchet & Clank games. During a brief interview with the leads at Insomniac, it is said to be releasing during the release window of the PS5, but considering we're not too sure when that will be, it's hard to say when we'll have Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart in our hands. Another game taking the spotlight at Gamescom is Watch Dogs Legion, which took home Best Action Adventure Game at Gamescom. It is just around the corner. This is the first iteration of the Watch Dogs franchise, which has made a concerted effort to stand alone with its own gameplay mechanics. The first installment seemed to be trying to ride on the coattails of the success of GTA 5, and now this franchise has grown up. Most notably is the introduction of a whole roster of playable characters, which as the player you will recruit to your hacker group during play. Each character is set to stand out from the others and give you the player options when taking on the various missions available, from a hacking approach, a stealth approach, or an all-out guns blazing approach. Watch Dogs Legion is set in a near-future representation of London, my home city, and for that it has a certain charm to me. Additionally, the characters can be permanently lost along your journey through the streets of London, and this could be a great addition to the open-world storyline, as every action and failure could have grave consequences. Watch Dogs Legion will be available on the 20th of October and will be playable in cooperative multiplayer throughout. 12 Minutes debuted in this trailer with a top-down view on a small room with a couple exchanging gifs when someone bursts in. It cuts between different scenes of the two dancing, lying in bed together, being restrained, the woman dead on the floor, the man agitated and startled. The trailer ends describing what to expect as an interactive thriller about a man trapped in a time loop. With James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley and Willem Dafoe, I assume it will be based around a narrative which you, as the player, will have to navigate to a happy ending. You are the husband who is about to have a romantic evening with his wife until a police detective bursts into your home, accusing your wife of murder and beats you to death. You then find yourself back in the moment you open the door. This is the premise of 12 Minutes. The initial problem is how to stop the detective from arresting you and your wife, and then leads you to figure out why you are stuck in this time loop. It will be boggling minds some point before the end of the year. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my picks from Gamescom. Let me know if there was any games I've missed which you enjoyed in the comments below. Subscribe for more, because there's always time for games here on Game Time.